Hello guys, welcome back to the beastie room. Whew, temperature's gone up, it's getting warm again. Now, today, as you can see in here, we've had many people asking us about Odin, our African bullfrog. And he or she, we're still not sure what he is, but we call him he, is in here and he's looking a little tired and a little bit thingy, so he needs a bit of a clean. And he's also grown quite substantially. So what we're going to do today, we are going to just revamp his present enclosure. So we're literally just going to rip it out, give it a bit of a clean. We're going to use the same soil and everything, but we're going to put a bit of fresh moss in there, and we're going to give him a bigger bath as well, because that little tub that he's got there, he fills it now completely. So we're going to literally just revamp this enclosure. Hopefully he's only going to be in here for a couple of months, and then we can hopefully get him back into his big, we've got a big enclosure for him. We just haven't got room for it in here. So as you will find out in the next few weeks, we have actually got, we are going to start the project, our new outside project. So we are so close now, guys, it's unbelievable. And it's very exciting. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop Odin in this box here. So we're literally just going to soak it down. He don't need a lot, to be honest. And then what we're going to do, he's never been handled, so he probably ain't going to like this very much. But we will see. I shall turn this around here. We'll get this little bit of bark out of here. There he is.
So much reflection, it's ridiculous.
Wow, yeah. Now, get him turning round. He's like, maybe I can just bite your finger. There he is, look at that. Ain't he handsome?
He's so pretty.
You can see how much he's grown. Or she, we just don't know. Right, so I'm going to put him straight in his box. We're going to leave him in there. And what I'll do is I'll put that over here so you can... Well, he thinks everything is food. Absolutely everything. Everything is food. He's such an absolute terror. So all we're going to do with this, in actual fact, I've got a couple of crickets in here, so I'll throw them in there. He might just find them.
He's not very good.
No, he ain't the best, but you know, hopefully he'll learn and get hold of them.
Can you move that lid for me? Put me right on the...
There we go. Yeah, he's looking for them crickets. And as you can see there, he's actually got really nice shape. He's not too fat, and this is one of the big things. We don't want him turning into a big fat obese... Look, you little cheeky devil, get off. Make me jump. There we go, have a cricket. Don't keep pulling it because I'll make a racket. Oh, there, he got it. Right, another one here, look. You notice how his actual tongue is moving as his body's moving? He's the funniest thing. You want that cricket? Did he get it?
Yeah.
He's getting good at that, isn't he? So look, as we were saying, at the moment, this is how we want him, so that when he stands up, he's not looking like a big blob. He's actually starting to look like he's been working out, which is what we want. We want him to look good and strong. Yeah, you can see me, can't you? Absolutely anything that moves,
He'll eat it.
is going in that mouth. What we do, I'll tell you what, we'll catch him a couple of roaches. He'll have some fun with that box. Catch him a couple of roaches and see what he does. He is actually due a feed, so he'll be all right.
So I can actually get in.
So what we'll do is we'll just drop these. We'll just... Here he goes. You're not very good, are you? He's watching you now. So what we do feed-wise is we only probably feed him maybe twice a week. And then we literally give him a couple of roaches like this. Or crickets. He does favour crickets. I think sometimes these will almost get a little bit too big and crunchy for him. He don't seem overly keen.
He just struggles. It's like it's the distraction. So if something else moves, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
As soon as it sits still, that's it.
Oh, here we go. He got it. At long last. You notice he doesn't chew. Everything just gets swallowed straight down. He's going for it. So what he's had here now, these would have been, he's had a couple of crickets that were in his enclosure. And he's had these 4 roaches. This will do him for the next 3-4 days. He won't need any more. And it's very, very tempting to overfeed these guys. So we have to be a little bit careful.
Give it a tickle for him.
Problem is though, you tickle it and he goes for the tickling stick. Look, he wants the tickling stick.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, there you go. He's got it. It is just amazing. These things go down whole. I don't even know if he actually bothers to kill them. Oh, that one got crushed. There you go. And you see where his eyes close? This is where he's forcing it down as he swallows. So as he swallows, the eyes close, and that basically protects his eyes. So if you imagine if he was to grab hold of something big and leggy, I mean in Africa and that, these things will catch centipedes and all sorts of stuff. So
he's always sitting right just too near the edge.
He's always in the wrong place, isn't he? Right, well we'll leave him there. And what we're going to do is we are going to freshen up this enclosure. So we're going to keep this soil because there's nothing wrong with this soil. It's fine. And because he don't actually burrow down or do anything, all we can do is just turn it over and it'll be absolutely perfectly fine. There's no point in throwing it away. It's actually really nice stuff. So what we'll do, you'll get a proper look in a minute. Now then, we're going to put this Braplast tub in here as a water dish. Don't actually leave an awful lot of space, but it should be fine. He doesn't really use a lot of space. He spends a lot of time sitting in the water dish that he's got at the moment, but as we said, it is just a little bit too small, and he literally fills it. So we're going to give him this one because he will actually use the water more than what he's using the land at the minute. And then we've got our bit of bark that can go back in here as well, and he'll get in and under there should he want to. We've got a little bit of moss here, and I think what we'll do is we will cut this moss down and we'll cover that front strip with the moss. And the reason we're going to do that is because when we feed him his crickets, as you've seen when he's feeding, he's not the brightest spark. So we're going to help him out, and we're going to put a bit of moss down the front here, and then that will help stop the crickets disappearing, because what happens is they do like to hide down behind the thing here. They get dug in, and that's where they sit and hide. So they're gone. Right, that is it. That's all we need. So we're not going to be too fussy about it. As we said earlier on, this isn't going to be his forever home. It's not going to be like that. So all we're looking for is just making him comfortable. So we're going to get a bit of this. We'll clean the glass up. Now, although he don't burrow and muck around too much like that, he does climb around on the glass quite a bit, up against the glass, especially when he's feeding. So he makes it rather messy. He's watching everything very intently. He's probably thinking, that looks pretty cool. Looks like I'm getting a swimming pool. Alright, so we've got some water here. This is the water we're using here. You would probably remember we keep large 25-gallon tubs full of water. This has got its own trickling system. See, that's a schoolboy error, that is. Filling this tub up with water that's got air holes all the way around it. So not only do we fill our water up, we get a sprinkling system at the same time. Pretty clever stuff, isn't it?
You don't mind.
Don't forget, you saw it here first. Right. So we're going to put that in there. Now we only half fill this tub, and to be fair, that is probably going to be more than enough. These guys like to sit in shallow water. They don't necessarily need to be swimming. They don't need it like that. So hopefully that isn't going to be too much. It's about that deep. So it should be all right.
About how deep, Dave?
About that deep. About there. About that deep. Very technical stuff on this channel. This is what you got to remember, guys. You're getting the very best. Right. So we're going to clean that down again. Anyone would think this had been my first go at this sort of thing, wouldn't you? I literally clean the glass, then I fill it up and splash water all over the place. So then, he hasn't got a great deal of amount of land area, but he can get in here. So this is going to be enough. If we find that he's trying to spend more time on the land and less in the water, then we'll swap it and we'll give a smaller bowl. But at the moment, he really seems to be enjoying being in the wet, in the water. So we're going to give him that larger water area, and hopefully this will keep him happy, make him nice and content. Now when we do his forever home, his proper tank, we will have a 50-50 water and land area. It'll be big enough to be able to do that. And he's watching everything. He is such a terror. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick him up and put him back in here. So we're going to get a little bit of water on our hands. There we go. Give him a little spray as well. Should we give him a little wash? Cheeky little thing, isn't he?
Oh, he's perfect. Let me just get a little bit of...
Look at that. Such a handsome frog. Now, we've had many people say it's a male. I'm starting to doubt that. I'm starting to think it's possibly female. He's actually looking up at us. You can see they are just constantly feeding. You notice he ain't putting up no fight, is he? Look at him. He's like a big baby. Absolutely like a big baby. Look. His soppy thing. You can see on the sides here, these are his ears. Here. You see they've got that lovely big eye as well. If we touch the eye, you see how it closes down and it seals itself up? This is to protect it. He's got his nostrils on the front here. And then this jaw, I'm not actually going to stick my finger in it, but this jaw up under here, these like two big teeth. And they're bony appendages, so they act like teeth, but they're not teeth in the true sense of the word. So they're under there. You see the colouring in the thing here. Look at that. It's got lovely peach colouring all through here. Really, really pretty frogs. Right, that's it. You're just evacuating all over the place. So this is where he's saying, I've had enough. Now then. That looks like it's absolutely perfect. That'll keep him nice. Just wash my hand off a bit there. So there you go. That is... As you can see there, he looks really, really happy in there. And that's going to give him enough water that he can just sit in there, just chill out, relax. And quite often or not, if the food ends up landing in the water, it obviously swims across the surface and he grabs them really easy, picks them up nice and quickly.
Do they defecate in the water or anywhere?
Yes, they'll do it wherever they sit. So this is one of the important things with any of your amphibians that are in water, because don't forget, not all amphibians spend their whole time in water. Many of them, actually he's watching my hand now, many of them spend as much time on land as they do in water. So for a lot of them, including these guys, they only really go to the water for when they're breeding. And then the rest of the time, especially with these, they dig down. So they hibernate deep down into the soil. And then when the rainy seasons start and everything floods, they come back up again and they go straight into full-on breeding mode. So very, very cool. But they've got quite a strange sort of lifestyle, because they spend most of the summer is due to breeding and feeding up, getting ready for the next winter, so hibernation. So they stay hidden away for a long, long time. But if you watch, there is a couple of very good documentaries, I think you can see them on YouTube, of the life cycle of these guys. And I would definitely encourage you to watch them, and you will see how incredible the wild ones are. And just in their size, their stature, and how they actually look. And this is what we need to be trying to replicate with our frogs in captivity. Many times you will see these frogs in captivity and they just look like big fat Buddhas that are literally just flopped out on the floor. They don't actually do anything, and they've got no muscle tone, no nothing. So they literally just look like a big pancake on the floor. So we need to try and avoid that. We want them to look strong and healthy. And hopefully, if we give them more room... Are you happy there, camera lady? She's laughing at my Buddha joke. So if we give him more room, he will exercise a little bit. And then if we're careful with the food, we can try and keep much of that weight off. They carry a little bit of weight, but we don't want to let them get obese. He looks very happy in there, I must say. He's looking really, really cool. Now, another way that we can help by not letting them get obese is by not feeding them vertebrates. Now, many people feed these guys mice, chicks, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, if you want to give your frog, say a rat pup or some pinkies or whatever, just do it in moderation. And by moderation, if this guy was to have a mouse, even say like a half-grown mouse, I would only give him one a year, you know. So let's get this correct. If we're doing it in moderation, we are talking one treat per year, and that would be more than enough. If you consistently feed them vertebrates, you will see them whack on the pounds, and they will get big and fat and lethargic, and that's what we really want to avoid. So it's very important. Try and keep them on an insect-based diet. Now, we do dust the insects as well, so we dust them in calcium. This will help them growing, and we give them varied things. So he has roaches, crickets, red runners as well. Yeah, he can have hissers. He's not over keen on the hissers unless they're very small, soft ones. He doesn't like the harder stuff, which is understandable. He swallows it whole. So, you know, it's probably not the best thing going down. But yeah, so just be a little bit thoughtful in how you keep him. Right. So we're going to put him back up on the thing, and then we are going to get down our cane toad, because that has grown as well.
And she comes out now.
And she sits out all day long. Now, if you want to have a quick look over at her, you'll see this is where she sits all day long. She looks a bit miserable, granted. You know, she's always got that scouring face. She's like I'm not a very happy toad, but she is happy. It's just the way she looks. I'm sure we all know someone who's just like that. Right, so let's get this. It's got heavy now. I'm going to put this one back up here. Now what we have to do now is we have to be very careful when we're moving these enclosures around. Oh, he does look lovely up there. We have to be very, very careful, because in this enclosure here, this is our female biroops, and she has, at this moment, is on an egg sac. So we want to be very careful that we don't upset her by...
Why would you move it if we've got an egg sac?
Well, it'll be because we want to clean this out and give it a bit of an up thing. So we need to do it, but we just have to, you know, life has to go on. We just need to do it very, very carefully so that we don't... Plus the fact, most of these spiders, they do become accustomed to a lot of what we do within the room. Now look at that, she's sat up now. If you come over and have a little look. Now if you remember, when we first got her, she was very, very nervous. She hid away, she was very frantic in what she done. But as you can see now, she's nowhere near as bad. Now, she is the same as the African bullfrog in the fact that we don't handle them. She hasn't been touched since the day that she went in this enclosure. But as you can see, she's put on some size. She is getting big. I think you need a step, don't you, Mother?
I'll just need you to get them in.
There we go. So you climb up there, you'll be able to do it.
Oh, just getting her eye bags.
Oh, getting her eye. They have amazing eyes. Really, really cool.
Ooh.
So as you can see there, she is much more confident now than what she was before. And much of this is because we've had her up on the shelf. So she sees us walking backwards and forwards, going past. So she's constantly got this interaction with us through the glass, and this is a good thing, and that's actually built her confidence now. Now in terms of eating, she's very much like the bullfrog Odin, in the fact that she grabs pretty much anything that's on the go. She's not as confident as him. You see there, she wants to run away. She's still a little bit nervous. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to take this water dish out so that we don't end up with her jumping in there. We're going to put her in the same tub that Odin was in, and then we're going to clean her little enclosure up, give her a water bowl that's a little bit bigger. But
there's no worry with reptiles cross-contaminating with anything.
No, because we know in here that our frogs are clean, so there's absolutely no worry. If we if one of these, say for argument's sake, our bullfrog was new in, and we put it in this tub, we wouldn't then put our resident toad.
Even though Odin defecated in there.
No, he'd be fine.
Just ask him.
It's only a little bit of...
Wee-wee.
Yeah, we can pour it out. Don't make any difference. There we go. If it makes you happier, but it won't actually make, you know, it won't make a lot of difference to him. He'll be fine. Alright, so we'll just put a little bit. With these, with the toads, they don't need as much in the way of water. So we could have left this actually dry and the toad would have been fine. It doesn't make any difference. Toads tend to spend all of their time generally on land and in just sort of damp conditions. The only time they really go to water is when they want to breed. So what we're going to do now, we are going to have to grab her, and she is going to freak out because she's not used to being handled, so she will try to escape. But even this,
Won't she?
yeah, even this, when we're right beside her like this, so you can see she's really, really good. The reason she's trying to jump down now is because camera lady has just appeared and she's right above her. So that's what's caused that. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a hold of her, get underneath. Now these guys will urinate straight away normally, although she hasn't. She's been very good. Look at that. We got her in a nice little hold there. And you can see there, she's actually quite calm.
I thought she was going to go mental.
Yeah, she's actually got much, much better. And they're looking really, really nice actually.
She looks so sad for herself.
She's always got a little bit of a cross face on her. And you can see here on the sides here, these are
if you turn it for me then.
Poison glands here. Now, if you actually squeezed these, they would erupt like a big spot.
Ew.
And you see all these tiny little pores in it? That is where all that sort of pussy stuff comes out, and that is what goes into the mouth of a predator or whatever and makes them very, very distasteful. And it's like a poison, so it's very, very nasty stuff. Now, that being said, we often see and hear about...
I'm not going to go near her because she'll be upset.
You can come in slowly. We often hear about people saying about overly worried about the actual poison glands on toads. You know, as it stands, we've got none of that on our hands because she hasn't felt threatened enough to actually want to do anything with it, and we didn't put any pressure on it either. So it's not come out, if you see what I mean. It's actually stayed there. She's not had to use it. So it's not an issue. It really isn't a problem. So we're going to do the same with this enclosure here. I'm literally just going to give the glass a bit of a clean. Amphibians are filthy things. Very, very dirty. All this really is a lot of this is just water staining from when we spray and feed and bits and pieces. So every now and again it just needs a bit of a clean. Now once we have the same plans for this particular toad, sorry, is going to be the same as the bullfrog. We're going to set up a nice big forever home and have a bit of a display out of it, because they really are worth spending that little bit of time and making them something really, really nice, because they are so cool to watch. So we're going to give it a small brass tub here. I'm going to put that in there. Trying to work out how it's going to sit best. Yeah, we'll do it like that, because what we don't want is the crickets ending up getting behind it, or the roaches, any of their food. We don't want that. Now, you might be sort of thinking, well, why have we got a smaller water bowl for our toad? And that is purely because these toads, as we said earlier, they don't spend that much time in the water. Generally speaking, they go to water to breed, and that is it. So we're giving her a hide back in here. Now, interestingly enough, when she first went in there, she went and hid in her hide, and we didn't think we'd see much of her after that. And she probably spent about a week in there, literally sat at the back just looking out. And after about a week, she ventured out and sat up on top, and that is now where she spends all her time. So she's definitely got far more confident, and she's used to seeing us in the room and moving about. So she's looking very, very happy and content. Right then, let's try this again, shall we?
Sprinkler system.
This is our sprinkler system, and I've done it again, haven't I? I've cleaned the glass, dried the glass, and now I'm going to pour water everywhere. Right, yeah. Right, amateur day today. Oh my god, look at that. Right. That'll do. You see that? that's a dual purpose. Fill up your water bowl and soak your moss at the same time. Another great design. All right, we'll give this a little bit of a water as well. Just do that.
Ooh, she's looking.
Right, I'm going to dry the glass again. Put that in there. Right. That'll do. Now hopefully that's a little bit better, isn't it? Now we're not going to bother trying to feed her in this tub because she probably won't feed. She hasn't got that kind of confidence. But as you can see there, she's actually moving around. She's not hunkered down all scared and worried. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to pick her up again and we're going to pop her back in her enclosure. There we go. So we just give her a second. Just let her get down. You notice the grip we've got on her? So our fingers are actually underneath her like that. This way we can keep a nice grip. Now look at her, look, look, look. She's puffing herself up now.
Oh wow, yeah.
And she's just urinating as well. Now this is because, as far as she's concerned, we're a predator and we've just grabbed hold of her. So she's urinated because that's going to be distasteful.
I don't think we can appreciate how much she's
And,
up, really.
and as you can see there, she is puffed up. And this is to make her really, really big so that we can't swallow her, should we try and eat her. And then the last defence, if we were to carry on, the very last defence would be to seep that poison out of these glands on the back here. And you can see how, as we're holding her, she's puffed herself right up. But you can see how swollen these are now. Look. See that? Now they're not actually doing anything at the moment, so we've got no need to worry. We don't have to worry about anything. But even so, even if they were to, if we squeeze them and we got some of that pussy venom that come out of them, it's not a problem. We just give our hands a wash. It's not going to seep into your skin and do you any harm. I say we often get comments about these guys with the venom glands and that. People saying they're poisonous. You know, they are to predators, but they're not going to cause us any trouble. Unless, of course, you want to try and eat one. Then it'll probably make you feel a little bit sickly. So there she is. Now, as you can see, so she has actually put on a little bit of size. She's getting a little bit bigger. I don't think she's going to get huge. There is a really, really big toad, the Suriname toad, which hopefully we're looking to actually try and get one of those. We had one years back. They were very nice. And along with the Rococo toads, we've had them as well. They're another very big toad. So we're hoping to get a few different little bits and pieces once our new room is up and done. We're starting planning next week, so we can set some of the finer details for our room, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we will be starting construction. And then these guys can have a permanent home. This one, as it is, stands in here. This is perfectly adequate for her at this size, so she'll be absolutely happy as anything in here. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the lid back on and we're going to put her back on the shelf so that she settles down, because we don't want her jumping up at the glass all the time. So we're going to put her back up on here. Remember, we've got to put her in nice and careful so that we don't upset that other tank, because we're very excited about our biroops, and it'd be very, very sad if anything was to happen. So there you go, she's back on, and now we can come over and have a nice look at her there. She is looking really nice. So all we've done really is just a simple just clean it up really, and just make it a little bit better. And this is something that's required literally every few months. They are messy little things, so it's nice just to spruce them up. We can see our African frog over here. She's now, or he. In actual fact, would you believe it? Go and have a look in there.
Is it gone?
You go in there, go right up close to the glass. That'll get rid of the thing. And she has just had the most almighty poo. Look at it. Look at that dirty great thing in there now. Marvellous. So she's literally been in there 2 minutes and we've now got to pull it out and empty it. Would you believe it? My God.
She's happy.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Right.
Better out than in, babe.
Yeah, better out than in. Right then. Well, as we can see, she really appreciated all our efforts. And, or he, or whatever it is, we're not sure. But, yeah, we're going to have to go back now and clean that up. Oh, I don't know why we bother sometimes. Right then, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I promise you, spider's in the next one. See you soon.